Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined by Teddy Covers. We're going to preview a big one this weekend, BYU and Michigan. No coincidence that we're bringing this one up this week with a Michigan alumni here. Are you a homer?
You don't have to worry about me being a homer, all right? I'm still 20 years later, more than that actually. Michigan absolutely screwed me my senior year financial aid package. I mean, they literally left me like, I was collecting cans, working 3 jobs, and a dime for the deposits in Michigan.
Nice.
And of course, your senior year, you're not going to transfer, you're not going away. They hosed me pretty hard, and then Michigan took down the banners. They took down the Fab Five banners. Yeah. Self-imposed sanctions, not ones the NCAA gave them. So, yeah, I'm a Michigan graduate. I am not a homer.
Okay, well, tell us what you really think, Teddy. That's always the great part of having you on, because you don't pull any punches with them. And this one here, tell me, is Michigan for real? They look good the last 2 weeks, but Oregon State and UNLV, we don't want to beat on our Rebels, but they definitely were outmanned. Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, first 3 games, what's your take?
Mediocre. Look, the Wolverines are going to have a good defense this year. I don't think there's any question. Their defense will be the strength of that team. And I wouldn't call that defense mediocre. It's well above average. It's a quality Big Ten defense. Offensively, there are issues. The offensive line is not beating people up. The quarterback play, Ruddock is the same guy he was at Iowa, which is a guy that, he shows signs, but the consistency isn't there.
What's he have, like 5 interceptions already?
Yeah. We had a bunch the first week. And the skill position talent for the Wolverines, not necessarily where it was. I'm not seeing the game breakers at wideout. This is a squad that's had somebody drafted early in almost every recent season, and that's just not the case. Devin Funchess, the guy for Carolina this past year, was a second-rounder. And I don't see that level of skill. I don't see that one breakout skill position talent for the Wolverines right now, which tells me they're going to be okay, but this is not an elite team.
Now, they're going to be facing a BYU team that's been a little bit of a Cinderella so far. The first 2 weeks come from behind, the Hail Mary in the first game against Nebraska, then fall behind at home in your home opener to Boise State with your second-string quarterback starting. You lose Taysom Hill in the first game. Most teams lose a player like Hill, they're done for the year. But this kid, Tanner Magnum, has come in and done a great job. He's completed 62% of his passes so far. Almost brought him back for a third time, last week. They gave UCLA all they could handle, and he was driving them late in the game, and he threw an interception, I think, with under a minute to play. But if you looked at the schedule, this is going to be their 3rd road game in 4 weeks, and they didn't have a breather. You're talking about Nebraska, Boise State, UCLA, and now you're going to the Big House. Who made this schedule?
It's a brutal spot, and that's one of the things that independent teams like BYU face is they've got significant scheduling concerns. And the Cougars went into the season looking at this 4-game stretch to open the campaign. They're going, look, if we split, we're happy. And of course they won the first 2, and they, as you mentioned, they gave UCLA everything they could handle last week on the road. BYU made me a bunch of money the first couple of weeks of the season. I've been very, very happy with the Cougars so far. And of course, you talk about the quarterback, Mangum. Here's a guy, yes, he's a freshman. He's also a 22-year-old freshman who's been back from a mission, and he's been in camp. And the quote-unquote kids at BYU, they're bigger and they're older than the kids at other schools, and that gives them added maturity level. It really does make a difference. That being said, from a spot perspective, it's a disastrous spot for BYU. Down to the wire game, down to the wire game, down to the wire game, all against quality foes. Now you got to travel again, back east, early start time, and you're looking at a 4th consecutive quality opponent. I worry about BYU running out of gas this week.
And a Jim Harbaugh team is going to be physical. And if you're running out of gas, the last thing you want to do is face a physical team that's going to beat up on you for 4 quarters. So in this one, if I had to put you on the spot, what's your prediction on the game?
And it's a hard game to predict because I do think that if you grade out the personnel, BYU is probably every bit as good as Michigan. But spot-wise, I can only look at the Wolverines here. I think it's that bad of a spot for BYU. So we got to make a play here. It'd be Michigan minus the points. Yeah, it's a homer pick.
I'm leaning this one. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm calling it Michigan 20-17, so I'm a little stronger on the under than actually looking at a side for the game. All right, be sure to check out all our other videos, and we got a special treat for you. You can get $10 off any package this weekend if you use coupon code TEDDY and the number 10. That's TEDDY and the number 10. Take $10 off anything in your shopping cart this weekend. It's good all the way through Monday. We'll be back with more videos, WagerTalk.com.